Crank in chat claiming he is going to spank the bum of Ryung if he loses this series. The gloves are off. But welcome back. This is the finals match of the group. This determines which of these two players gets to the round of 16. It's a really tough choice. We got Ryung on one hand. It's like his like only foreign event of the year type thing. Then you got Welmu, one of the foreigners, kind of rooting for both here. I'm not sure who's gonna take it home, but down one at the moment to his opponent, spotting the top right corner merry-go-round. It's gonna be Nursoft's red Protoss player, Welmu.
The bottom position as the blue Terran, it's Axiom's Ryung. So, Crank did confirm that you saved him in twos.
Yes! I saved him. I'm a good teammate. Alright?
Sure. Sure. Anyways.
Yeah, so we saw, okay, we talked a little bit before. When you played against Grubby, we didn't even see Widowmines come into effect. That game against Welmu, though, was like the exact opposite. The Widowmines were fantastic. The Widowmines actually were almost stupid, because while there wasn't like that one miracle Widowmine hit that kills like 19 probes, there was constantly like 2 or 3 randomly on the map that kept getting hits over and over, and just one Zealot here, a Stalker there, basically EMPs on top of an Archon towards the end. I mean, those Widowmines were just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and Welmu was relying a lot on Zealots, so it's really cool of Young to realize that, because a lot of Terrans go ahead and just lift the factory. And while certainly lifting the factory and getting scout information and maybe some misplaced Stalker shots is useful, it's not as useful as potentially going into Widowmines later on. You know, if, you know, for instance, if they do trick you, because some people do still break out the Charge Out Archon opener, or at the very least, they have the one Colossus, no Extendable Lance switch. You know, they still do those type of tricks.
Yeah, no, you're correct. Sorry. Crank is just being amazing in chat. I'm here. I'm just here ready to spank Ryung's butt so hard if he loses. Like, he's not even here to cheer his teammate on. He's just like waiting for the punishment.
This is why he should have been casting with us.
Yeah. Stupid Crank being a total biscuit's ass, not having a microphone. Gosh. Well, she should. That's why I said it's just still in Total Biscuits mic setup. But anyways, all silliness aside, Welmu, we're talking a lot about Ryung, and the thing is, we do have a little bit of an attachment because, you know, we're covering this series on the request of the Axiom manager, looking for a way to watch one of her boys play. But I think one of the things for Welmu, and this again goes back to the point where he's fighting for like one of the few foreigner spots in this tournament. It's not about BlizzCon for him. It's not about anything outside of just like personal glory for winning this tournament, and of course some cash on the side. Getting to the round of 16 would be fantastic, and Welmu's certainly deserving of it. But the question is, can he beat Crank's TVP? Or sorry, not Crank, sorry, Ryung's TVP? Because it's looking really good right now. I got Crank on the mind. What can I say? He's
probably beat Crank's TVP.
I don't know. Crank's not too bad with Terran.
Oh, okay, okay. But no, Ryung just seems so confident, you know, in his play that's what's really shaky. There's no like really nervousness or like hesitation. He sees the opportunity, he takes it.
Yeah, I mean that kind of goes back to the point I was talking before with the confidence thing. Like we saw Ryung in the past for the WCS qualifiers, and, you know, there was a lot of shaky indecisiveness. You know, go forward, come back. Do I want to all in? Maybe I won't. Builds get a bit messy. And you can attribute it to the fact that he didn't get a lot of sleep for that particular tournament, and B, he played very, very, very long nights, but. Again, it's from then to now, there's just like this difference in confidence for Ryung, and I'm loving this because I remember too, Olivia had said to us, like, Ryung was really nervous about this tournament. Like, he didn't want to lose. He wants to show people he's good. So I'm loving the confidence from this guy and through the cast so far. Yeah. And I hope we can carry him a little bit further.
So Welmu does go for just a pretty normal opener here. I mean, last game was good, and of course, you know, I was the one that even brought it up. Like, he's not going to get a Reaper. So you can do silly, like, you know, weird stuff to try and catch him off guard. It was just that Ryung, you know, surprisingly did get a Reaper. Didn't expect that, but it was certainly a well thought out Reaper. And he did get a Scout. You know, it wasn't a full Scout, but it was enough one to tell him that something was up. Whereas this time, Welmu just plays it off. And, like, seriously, though, let's not forget that despite failing a Dark Templar rush, Welmu held, like, you know, pretty strong. Like, Ryung, yes, was still kind of outplaying him, but Welmu, like, you know, maybe should have crumbled where he kind of just, like, you know, just stood pretty
great
strong.
Splits, good defense. I mean, that's always the scariest thing. It sounds so simple, but as a Protoss player, it's really hard to gauge exactly what you want to split. Not over-dedicating too much to your natural, not under-dedicating enough to your main. I mean, there's a lot of issues where you think, like, okay, the overcharge is going to be enough, but actually it's not, because that drop kills all your probes, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah, or you know, Grubby versus Grubby just killed the Nexus. Like, okay, cool, photon overcharge, bro. We do have a very, you know, fast Colossus coming out. It seems to be that all Protoss players have in their back pocket the Colossus all-in, which, I mean, I feel like lately it's been less effective than more. It just seems like people are getting better at recognizing it or defending against it, or I don't know what, but
the problem is when you
there.
do rush these out, you do lack that ground fodder. You don't have a lot of sentries. You don't have a lot of zealots to buffer for it. So if Ryung can identify this early enough, and he just applies enough units and things like Widow Mines that'll equalize those forces very quickly, he should be okay.
He saw 2 more gateways above the 1, which isn't really telling. I mean, for all he knows, there could be a Twilight Council back there. You know, he doesn't.
What you would assume more of, but oh wow,
yeah,
that's 4 gateways he missed on the scout.
Exactly. So it is going to be that colossal all-in I was talking about. I mean, we see it all the time, and it's certainly a very strong all-in to have to throw into a best of series. It just lately has not been really impressing me. You know, after all the games that we cast.
This is such a subtle thing and unimportant right now, but I love getting one bunker down behind this. So many times we see a Terran player either misread the situation or mess up their attack and have a counterattack in their way, and then they put the bunkers down. And at that point, you're already screwed. Those bunkers will never complete. Not on a close rush distance map like Merry-Go-Round. So it's just one for now, but I really like that he went for this early.
So I am confirming that he did in fact go for, you know, or he did not see all the gateways. Well, now he saw the gateways. That was a great Marine scout. You gotta kind of assume that it's probably with Colossus at this point, because like Blink would have already maybe hit. I don't know. But he is getting Vikings. I think Welmu is doing this attack not only because it's a good like attack to have, again, for a Protoss player. Okay, he's gonna get a couple probes. But also because he noticed that Ryung was going so heavy in a medevacs. You know, you talked about it last game how he went for 8 medevacs, and I was like, well, if a Colossus all-in happened, there wouldn't be enough Vikings. And that certainly could have been the case, but Ryung does see that something is going on and started Viking production immediately.
I mean, that's one of the big things, too. You point out, yeah, he did go heavy, but not this time. So we got the Vikings coming out immediately. Fully recognized the situation. He's ready for this. I mean, 1 bunker is a small start to this, but, I mean, he's making all the right moves. More bunkers coming down. If he holds a good defensive fight here, and he should hold a good defensive fight here, his counterattack potential is going to be insane.
Yeah, yeah. Combat shields will be done. Marauder slow, you know, it's helpful, but it's not the biggest deal if it's not done. It's this very scary push for Welmu. Oh, hallucination too. That's cool.
I actually really like the hallucination edit. He shoots the hallucination first, wasted shots. One of the Vikings go down for free essentially. But as he takes the fight on top of this,
oh my god!
Well, he just skims into it with the Marauders. Like, who needs Vikings? If you got Marauders shelling away at the Colossus, the second one goes down.
Okay,
Ryung has got this in the bag with 3 bunkers. Welmu cannot break this.
How is that so not scary? Like, I looked at an army and I was like, okay, that's a pretty sizable army, and then it was just nothing.
Right,
nothing
like average situation, shit brick. Ryung, not a problem.
I gotta imagine Welmu just wasn't prepared for Ryung to go down like that because he had force fields. Like, why would get that 90 sentries? You don't use your force fields.
I don't know when this Widowmine got here. It was 7 kills on it, by the way.
Yeah, well, it went around the army as it was come across the map.
Really nice, really nice. So he's not salvaged these yet. He could. I think he's gonna base this off of what he sees here when he goes for the drop. But really underdefended. Underdefended is the definition here.
Oh my god, the robotics bay is like in such a great position for not being scouted, but such a poor position for drops.
He warps in a couple stalkers, but even though there's not a lot of marauders in this, he's got the killing power. Stim's a little too good, as we see.
Stalkers, like, big deal.
Yeah. Big freaking whoop. Kills his ult before they can finish whooping into. That's a bit of a nuisance. He's gonna have to kill the stalkers before he can lift and get out of here. He will kill the medevacs if he's not careful. Ooh, actually risks it. I mean, knowing there's a Colossus opener like this, you know Blink's not gonna be out the fastest time possible, but to assume there's no Blink, that was ballsy.
A little. Welmu, you know, he is banking, but he's just choosing to survive rather than get any amount of tech right now.
Oh, nice snipe with the Mothership core. No time warps, no photon overcharges. Meanwhile, third base taken out of Ryung while this is going on. Establishes the base. Pylon's right there, though. Oh dear. He's gonna have to deal with that.
Ryung not quite salvaging his bunkers, maybe afraid of like a secondary all-in?
I mean, he doesn't really need the cash right now. I mean, look at his money he's floating. 400, 500. I mean, I actually kind of like these not salvage them, but yeah, you're right. He can eventually at some point start trading these in for some good money. Upgrades are in his favor. Welmu's not even trying. I shouldn't phrase it like that. He's not trying to get upgrades. Focusing on Zealot Charge right now. No 1-1, no double forges, no chrono boosts going out. Looking to get raw units, and this is kind of that problem we see with a lot of all-ins, where it starts losing its juice as time goes on.
Yeah. The one thing that Welmu was able to do when the DT attack failed last game was he was able to get a third when we really did not expect him to. But it was a very different map. Like, you know, Ryung tried his best to do the counter, like the drops in both places to try and get the third. It didn't work out, but merry-go-round, he doesn't have to do multiple drops to take your third away. Like, if Welmu takes the one down south, it's like a huge arc for Ryung. Like, okay, easy win. If he takes the one off to the left, that's even farther away than it was on Nimbus. So, like, Welmu is going to have to, yeah, and he is doing it. He's going to have to depend on tech to get him somewhere. No upgrades, no third, just, like, good storms, lucky storms.
I was going to confirm no third, too. Man, I got to think, Ryung's, like, first Marine Scout with his gateways was epic. This one here is pretty good, too, as he just sprints across the map. But what is this? He's going to have the factory to scout?
Yeah, I guess so, which is, like, there's even more, like, charge lots than there was last game, so would have mine would have been good here.
Well, Medevacs, Vikings all paired up. He's got a couple SCVs falling around with the army as well. Not going to really get too much accomplished here on the front lines, but this army of zealots...
I mean, like is this trying to be like a follow-up at All In? I guess it was. The High Templars are caught up a little bit.
It's kind of like bait, though. There's no storm. Oh, there is storm. No, I take that back. I thought he...
really? Yeah, so he kills 2 High Templars, forces the other 2 to morph, and then there's only 2 High Templars left. That's 2 storms, but Ryung has ghosts.
Well, the other thing, too, is Ryung's also got too much army in the air with these Vikings. With no Colossus out, these are actually kind of dead weight as is.
They're dead weight.
But, I mean, like, they land only to die to possibly the Immortals. I mean, they're just going to get, like,
they do
2 or 3 shots.
Great job of soaking up Zealot hits, though.
They do, yeah. 125 health is nothing to scoff at all. But he's landing on top of everything. Oh, my God. Archon goes down immediately. These Zealots are charging forward, but stuttering with the Vikings. What a scary army here Ryung has. His reinforcements should be more than enough. Medevac's healing quite nicely. We do have a storm coming in, but I think too little too late. Zealot's swipe to the side isn't too bad, but the Immortal's fallen, and there's no more Archons. Oh, sorry, there's one more. No more Archons.
This army is mostly Viking, but it is going to do its job.
It's unupgraded Vikings. Huzzah! Yeah. Excelsior! Ryung will take this series 2-0 and join Jaedong as the winner of this group.
Hey.
Woo! This means we will see Ryung in the round of 16, guys. So big congrats to Ryung. He played that out very well. I don't know if he just trained with Crank or what the deal was, but man, he was ready for Welmu every step of the way. Both games, well played. Absolutely. But yeah, that concludes our coverage of DreamHack, guys. I don't want to keep it too much longer. Zombie and I are incredibly tired, and gotta go get some. I gotta go sleep, but she's gotta go do cool stuff. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. If you guys joined us here on the cast at the end, that's cool. If you joined us here for the whole day, much love goes out to you. I know some of you guys have been here the whole freaking day. It's been a long, crazy day, but we are finally over. We will be back tomorrow morning to cast the round of 16. I think there's about 2. I think it's 2 matches we cast. I don't know, but it's we'll be back for the round of 16 tomorrow morning. So the curse is broken, says chat. Maybe. I don't know. I hope Olivia was okay with the cast. We did our best to cover all the Ryung games. We did manage to get every single Ryung game. That was pretty cool stuff. But I think that's it for the cast. You got final shoutouts before I do our big spiel of a goodbye?
Oh, follow me on Twitter at TGGaming and on Twitch /ZombieGrub.